Welcome to the homestead. Sorry, I'm getting this started like 45 minutes late. I had quite a day today. Started out, I was going to mow, and the lawnmower's setting up here on soul horses because screw that hold the blade on broke. So, went and got everything I need to take care of that. And my oldest helped me put this up there, and then he went driving for the first time in a little bit of traffic. Drove to his grandma's house. He's doing great with that. He's making progress. He does need to get off his butt and do more of that. And then I'm like, after I heard him driving, I'm like, oh, I got like half an hour. I can picture a bunch of the stuff I have to sell. And then an hour later, I realized, oh man, I forgot I have to do the live stream today too. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the golden calf and the redemption of the tribe of Levi. So we're working our way. We talked about David and his mighty men. In order to get there, I decided to start at the beginning of the story with Abraham, and that way we'd have the context and move forward. I think we're going to have one more study on Abraham or on Moses, and then we're going to have a study on the spies that went into the promised land, and then we're going to talk about then we'll move on to the book of Joshua, Judges, and then we'll be into getting close to David. So about halfway there, maybe. Anyway, so golden calf. Last time we talked about Moses going up the mountain to meet with God. He got to see the temple in heaven. He got to talk with God, and he was given the covenant. While he was up there for a long time. I think 40 days. And but he's got to memorize the entire Torah, and he's got to memorize the layout of the entire temple in heaven. So he's got a lot of work to do. So he's up there for 40 days, and it's not like he just walked up there, talked to God for 5 minutes, was handed the Ten Commandments, and walked back down the mountain. Well, the people that we just discussed about them whining and belly aching and complaining start whining and belly aching and complaining about Moses not being back. And they're like, oh no, Moses let us out here to die. And Moses isn't going to be able to talk to God for us. What are we going to do? Now, mind you, they're right at the base of the mountain. They can look up and still see the thundercloud around the mountain with the presence of God in it. A few days or 40 days ago, they heard the voice of God with their own ears. And I want to say that they're terrible people and all this stuff for falling away so easily. But how often do we sin when we know we shouldn't? How often do we do things we know things we do when we know we should do better? Even little things like we don't hold the door open for somebody or something like that. Get a little aggravated and talk rude to somebody when we shouldn't. We all do it. Anyway, so they go to Aaron, Moses' brother, and basically like the second in charge. And they're like, we don't know what happened to Moses. Make us a new god. Make us a god. So Aaron's like, fine. Sounds good to me. Take off all your jewelry, give it to me. And he makes a golden calf. And when he makes the golden calf, he doesn't say that the golden calf is your new god. He doesn't say that they're worshiping Baal as the golden calf is Baal. What he says is, the golden calf is Yahweh, the God that led them out of Egypt. That instead of having Moses as the go-between, they could use this golden calf as a go-between. That they can force, but by making this idol, they can force God to do what they want and have God listen to them because they made this idol. And we're going to see a story in Judges where they do the same thing. But I've seen a lot of people that say, if you do this, well, we see it all the time on Facebook. God will bless this child that has this disease if this post gets 15 likes. God doesn't work that way. We're supposed to have a relationship with God. We're not supposed to have a relationship through some sort of mediary with God. Especially some sort of mediary that's an inanimate object that can't do anything for us, like a Facebook post or a golden cattle, something like that. Anyway, so they build this thing. God gets mad. God's like, I'm going to kill them all. Moses is like, hey, don't kill them yet. If you kill them, then the Egyptians will be like, hey, he only led them out of Egypt in order to kill them, and it'll make you look bad. And God's like, oh yeah, Moses, you're right. This is the only time we see Moses being rational. And I don't know if God was actually going to kill them all or if he was just saying that to Moses. I've heard people make the conjecture either both ways. Personally, I don't know. I don't know how much of that it matters. Anyway, but we see Moses. This is probably the only time Moses really stays calm and rational. When there's something going on, he usually chooses to get angry instead. So Moses goes down, sees the golden calf, and then he gets angry and smashes the tablets. But what? So the people are turning back to their old ways here instead of trying to do the new thing. And I heard it this way by somebody once. I don't remember who. I'd like to give credit, but I don't remember who. It's like becoming a Christian is like buying a whole new wardrobe. And you take your old party clothes that you used to have when you were a sinner and go hang them up and go put them down in the closet where they're nice and neat and taken care of down in the basement. And normally you wear your new Christian clothes. But when there's a problem, when you're stressed out, when things aren't going right in your life, you go down and put on your party clothes and you go out and do your partying again. And we all do that kind of stuff. We all revert back to worldly, cultural ways of dealing with problems instead of relying on God as much as we should. Speaking of that, before I work on this here lawnmower, I can't believe I just said to this here, before I work on this lawnmower, I need to spend some time praying. Ask God to help me. It's been a long time since I've used an easy out, and I don't want to spend the money to get the lawnmower fixed if I don't have to. Instead of just resorting just to grabbing the tools and getting the job done, I should pray about it first. Anyway, so Aaron, he fails as a leader. He should have told the people, no. What we need to do is pray to God and pray and ask God to take care of Moses and ask God to take care of us and guide us and let us know what we're supposed to be doing. Instead, he gives in to the people's wishes and then later makes excuses of it. Instead of relying on, like I said earlier, instead of relying on God and doing what God wants, they're trying to assert their control over the situation. So Moses comes down, smashes the tablets, gets mad, smashes the 2 tablets. Then Moses says, "What's going on? This is wrong. We shouldn't be doing this." Oh, by the way, they're having a giant party, a pagan ritual around the golden calf. Uh, it says they're listening to music, feasting, and some translations say merrymaking. Uh, I'll leave that up to your imagination so I don't get pulled off of YouTube. But there was a lot of people engaging in things, all in public and around each other and with each other. And that was normal for pagan uh, rituals. And they're worshiping God in a way that pagans are worshiping God instead of a way that we're supposed to worship God, the way God wants us to worship Him. God wants the pagan gods or demons, they want us to come to them in an unclean and debauchery and stuff like that. God wants us to come to Him and worship Him in a clean and wholesome way to uplift ourselves, not uplift ourselves closer to His level instead of dragging ourselves down to the level of the demons and the false gods. God told them that they're supposed to physically clean themselves and abstain from having sex and focus on meeting Him and being with Him. And they do all that, but 40 days later, they go the opposite way and defile themselves in front of God in order to do this wicked thing. Anyway, Moses comes down, he sees all this, gets mad, smashes the tablets, and he says, "Hey, this is wrong, stop it." And they don't really stop it. Then Moses says, "Anybody who's with God and wants to worship God the right way, come join me." And a bunch of Levites, descendants of Levi, people of the tribe of Levi, come and join Abraham or Moses. Come and join Moses. And they go through and they stop this from happening. Unfortunately, the way they stop it is by killing people. I don't know if God never says He wanted them to stop what was happening by killing a bunch of people. But the tribe of Levi shows that they're, even no matter what the culture is doing around them, that they're going to side with God and that they're going to follow God to the best they can, even if they don't do a perfect job of that. But they're going to try to keep things clean, keep themselves clean, and try to help others keep themselves clean. Now, they may have gone about it the wrong way, and oftentimes we go about it the wrong way when we're talking to people. And you'll see a lot of Christians that, oh, look at that person, they're such a terrible person, I don't want anything to do with them, look at the way they act or dress or whatever like that. And instead of going to them and being like, "Hey, what you're doing is wrong, let me show you the right way, let me help you do the right thing," instead we're quick to judge them, and not judge them not judge them in a helpful way, but judge them in order to lift ourselves up, to make ourselves feel better. So we should be praying for the people around us and helping lead them to God in a wholesome, godly way. All right. So back in Genesis, Abraham or Levi and his brother. Did I write down which brother it was? There's 12 of those guys total. Simeon. So Levi and Simeon, not Cinnamon. Levi and Simeon back in the Old Testament were very violent. And because of that, Levi and Simeon both lost their position as the firstborn. And Judah became the position of the firstborn. And that's where the kingship eventually comes from, and Jesus eventually comes from that. So, one of the punishments for Levi is that his people, his descendants, wouldn't inherit any land because of his actions. Now we see here that the tribe of Levi is doing the right thing. They're going out of their way to be more godly, and while doing that, they they redeem themselves for the mistakes of their elder, their patriarch. And God takes the curse of them not having land and turns it into a blessing. So they still won't have any land because God's not going to undo that curse or undo the consequences of that action. But he's turning that action or that consequence into a blessing. So instead of not having land, or instead of getting land that they have to work and have to farm and stuff like this, the tribe of Levi become the priests and the ministers and the spiritual leaders of the people. And they get to live not only in the temple, but the Levites get to live in the cities and provinces all throughout Israel and help guide those people. And since they don't own land and can't farm or anything, the Levites, or the rest of the tribes, tithe 10% of their produce to the Levites. So they get this good exchange, and God took the punishment that they rightfully deserved and turned it into a blessing when they decided to follow him and put him first. And a lot of us have things that our family's done, and in the past, and things we're not proud of in our family history. Some people have been abused in all kinds of ways. Some people's parents are meth heads. Some people's parents are just losers and never take care of them. Didn't do a good job taking care of them because they didn't care. We can be like the tribe of Levi, and just because our parents were terrible or our grandparents were terrible, or even just didn't live up to the standard, we can change that, and we can change the entire history or the entire trajectory of our family lineage going forward. Just because our family in the past were bad people and did the wrong things, if you come from an abusive household, you don't have to carry on that abuse. God will help you be a better person. If you come from a family of alcoholics, you don't have to become an alcoholic. God will help you if you rely on him and ask him to help you change that and change your family to be better people. So that's about all I got. I kind of skipped around in the notes a little, but we got everything we needed to get done, hit all the points. So if you like this kind of thing, if you want to join the conversation, and I want it to be conversation. I don't want me talking to you. I want it to be a two-way conversation, so we can all build each other better. If I'm trying to get closer to God, and you're trying to get closer to God, and you're helping me, and I'm helping you, then we'll get closer together, and we'll both get closer to God together. So I want that with my audience. So you can do the YouTube thing, or if you really want to have a good conversation with me, hop over to Telegram. I'll put a link in the description. If I remember, it's my Telegram's t.me/prepare to prosper, or go to Telegram, search prepare to prosper. You'll find me there. And we can have a conversation about our mission, about homesteading and preparedness. That's the focus of this channel. And that's all I got for today. I'm going to go inside, do some video editing and some other stuff I have to do. It's pretty hot out. And then tomorrow morning, I'll crawl underneath this lawnmower and see if I can't get the blade changed. Pray for me and wish me luck. Remember, if we don't prepare today, or remember, we prepare today so we can prosper tomorrow.